Welcome back everybody, Chris Bricks here, and as you can see, new shirt, new day, new build. But before we get to that, last week we built the little rally car, the Audi S1 e-tron I forgot the rest of the name. Of course I didn't save the box or the instruction booklet, but it's a really cool futuristic e-tron kind of rally looking car. And that one was a very special episode last week because I had a special guest, Logan Bricks, on here who was helping me put that together. We had a good time. He kind of shared his thoughts on it. I shared some of my thoughts on it. And it was a nice co-op, you know? Kind of bring a smile to your face when you have someone who's interested in block building as you are. And he will definitely be back on the channel later. He already has a date planned out when he wants to return, as well as the sets picked out. That's right, sets. We're going to be building sets at the same exact time. Not quite a race, because it's not quite fair. I've been building a little longer than him, but at least we could build together, something kind of fun to do, and I can't wait to have him back on the channel. Now this week, we are doing a special 2-for-1 type build. Last week, I was kind of caught up in having a co-op. First time I had someone that was sitting there beside me, so I didn't give a hint last week, which is okay, because if you sub to my Instagram or follow the Instagram right over here, you'll already know what we're building. So what is it that we're gonna build? That's right, another one of these backlog older sets, which is okay because I don't have to deal with the paper bags yet. So this one is the AMG, not AGM, 2-for-1 special. We got the G-Wagon and we got the SL63 Roadster, which I believe does not come with a V8 anymore. I think it's a twin turbo 6, if I'm not mistaken these days. But the G-Wagon definitely does have some roar to it. And I've seen other content creators build these, and actually they look pretty good, especially the G-Wagon. You'd expect that to be perfect for Legos because it's literally a brick on wheels. I don't know how you can go wrong with that, to be honest with you. Now, overall, you're looking at 808 pieces. Can't say for sure it's going to be a 50-50 split. I would imagine the G-Wagon is going to have a little bit more pieces because it's just SUV compared to a Roadster. So we do know already that our minifig for the SL will fit with hair on because, as you can see, hair is on and there's no roof for the concussion. The G-Wagon, with how tall and boxy and bricky this is, you would hope they'd be able to fit in it with their hair, but we'll see. So, you turn around the back, you got some nice landscape. Don't know if this is like California. This could be, you know, in a bay over by Tampa, but Tampa isn't really that big of a city. And then you got some pictures of the real vehicles over here, as well as some nice, you know, other shots of them. So, I'm not sure which one I'm gonna build yet. When we open the box in the next cutscene here, I'll kind of decide it there. Not really sure which one. I'm kind of looking forward more to the SUV because I haven't really built any SUVs on this channel. So I may just start with the G-Wagon, but we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and get this box open. All right, the bags are out. The box is open. I didn't open any bags to get to this. And yeah, you can see where the pieces are. We have 4 bags over here for the G-Wagon, which has a fairly thick construction booklet. For the Roadster, it's only 2 bags and considerably smaller. So I would imagine with 808 pieces, you got probably 200 or 250 for this, and then the rest is going to be that G-Wagon. You got, of course, the wheels, and these aren't for both. This is actually only the wheels for the SL Roadster. The G-Wagon, which I actually like about this set, they actually come with some beefy tires. They don't just put you with the standard tires that you find in all the Speed Champions. They give you beefier tires, and on top of that, they give you beefier rims. Now, they're not because it's an older set, it doesn't have the ones that are built in, kind of like that Ferrari set that had beautiful rims that came with it. This one has your standard rim where you pop on the hubcap, but at least they're bigger. So that's a really nice touch. I really like that. Now, both of them do have stickers, and this is where kind of an annoyance comes in because they literally give you stickers for the door handles. Lego, you couldn't print this on the piece. You want me to throw this yellow sticker on there for the door handle, and we already know this yellow is not going to match the yellow pieces. This is something that not just Lego, but other brick brands tend to struggle with, is matching the sticker color to the actual piece of the block. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's just printing techniques or what it is, but this yellow, I can almost guarantee you, is going to be brighter than the yellow that's on there. I could already, that's my prediction for right now. We'll look at it. I hope I'm wrong, but it's kind of ridiculous that for the Mercedes symbol and the door handles, they couldn't just print that on. I mean, there's just several pieces on here that I think, or stickers on here, that could have easily had been printed on. But, you know, I'm not Lego. Then we go to the G-Wagon, which also has stickers. Even though it's a black car, we have black stickers to put on the black car. And please let these at least match. I mean, how can you go wrong with black, right? But same kind of thing. These little stickers for the AMG G63, the little tiny emblem right there, that's all stuff you could have printed on. I don't get it. And what I found as a huge disappointment with this set, okay? I'm hoping I'm just looking at this the wrong way, but I don't think so. Because those look like the taillights that come on the back of a G-Wagon. Really, Lego? We used stickers for the taillights. We couldn't use, you know, one of those, you know, half moon pieces that we use that are flat all the time, and then have a full flat red piece to go there. I mean, Lego, you're smart. You could figure something out with that. Don't tell me this is what we're using for the G-Wagon taillights when we could have used actual see-through pieces that look like lenses or taillights. That is a huge disappointment if this is the case. But haven't built it yet. I don't want to judge. Just putting my thoughts out there. Everything else, just kind of, I feel like a lot of this could have been printed on. But, you know, Lego loves their stickers. So book-wise, I kind of showed you one was a bit thicker than the other. This one is almost a double the pages and steps. Not quite, because this has about, I think, 80-some pages, steps, and this is at 150 steps with almost 150 pages. So not quite double, but it's a good 80% more than this one. And that's kind of where you're at with you when you buy this set. Well, it makes sense for me to just go into bags 1 and 2, because that's going to be the Roadster is bags 1 and 2, and then 3 through 6 is the G-Wagon. I wanted to build the G-Wagon, so that's what I'm going with first. So this week's video, we're all about the G-Wagon. Next week, we'll go ahead and post the Roadster, because I don't want to rush the two. I don't want to sit there and give thoughts on both, but we'll compare them at the end so you can see them both together in the SL video. But for this week, G-Wagon, so let's build. Bag 3 is done, which is the first bag of the G-Wagon. 17 minutes, 38 seconds, and like usual, we got the chassis. And these massive trapezoid shapes are the wheel wells that are gonna fit the giant knobby tires in here. As you can see, famous to the G-Wagon, we got the dual exhausts out the sides, And I like that they took the time to make them chrome, because they're usually always chrome when you see them on the G-Wagon, instead of just using black or, the gray plastic. I do like that they added the chrome, kind of adds a nice luxury feel to it. But with this one, repetition is the name of the game. A lot of the times you're applying 8 of something, 9 of something. Just make sure you're looking at the instructions closely and where to place it. A couple times I found that I thought I saw it correctly and it was not correct, and I messed up and had to redo the work. So honestly, if it wasn't for the rework, you might be able to get this under 17 minutes. But overall, it is pretty straightforward. Just take your time, look where the pieces go. I had to rearrange a little bit of the front end here, so that way it was in the correct order. I had it backwards because as I'm putting on pieces, I'm turning, my point of view as I'm putting pieces on, and I mixed it up a little bit. But that's okay. I discovered it later on, was able to easily fix it. You can see in the time lapse as I'm taking it apart, swapping it around and putting it back. Now, I kind of wish that they kept, like right now this is stiff. This is a solid piece, does not flex or anything, because you add these 2 little blocks right here. Now before you added those on, it actually flexed kind of like this, like the suspension would on one of those Jeep crawlers, with the crazy suspension. And I thought they were actually going to keep the G-Wagon like that, because in real life, the G-Wagon is a very capable off-road vehicle. I mean, it is highly capable. And I thought they were going to keep it on there to give that effect so you could kind of go off-road with it. But now it's a solid chassis. There is no flex. It's solid. So I think that was kind of a missed opportunity, or maybe that was just my preference. I thought it would be cool for that. Maybe you like the rigid chassis a little better, but I thought it would have been cool if it would have had that effect where you can make it drive over some Lego pieces and the wheels would go like this, because there's literally just one bar that runs from here all the way across it. And at first you could see the white line is where it's running. It was flexing kind of like it was one of those Jeeps that are set up that way. But, oh well, I thought it'd be cool. Maybe it's something that if you wanted to modify later, just keep these 2 black squares off, and you'll have a flexible chassis as well. I don't know how that would translate when you put the rest of it on. Maybe it would make it crumble and fall apart, but I thought it was cool for the moment. And of course, we have Hannah. She is wearing her AMG gear. She is ready to go. She does not have a wrench, which is kind of surprising, because AMG vehicles, you might say, aren't the most reliable, especially on the second. Whoop, there went Hannah. She found out how much it was going to be to repair her AMG engine, and she left. So we're stuck without Hannah for now. But she has I like that they put like an AMG shirt on her, which I thought was pretty cool. She has her shade, she has awesome hair. Obviously, she ran when she saw the repair bill. And as far as the pieces, you get 3 little pieces. That's it. So if you don't see 3 little pieces at the end, or you're missing something bigger than 3 little pieces, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, because it's somewhere else. So considering how many pieces went into this, which is quite a few actually. This is a pretty chunky, bag. First bag, I should say. It's technically bag 3. You don't get a lot to spare, so be aware of that. But overall, straightforward, pretty cool. It's getting me excited because this is a pretty big speed champion already, and I can't wait to see this thing finished. So let's move on to bag 4, and let's build. Bag 4 is done. 15 minutes, 36 seconds, so a little bit quicker than bag 3, which was the first bag of the G-Wagon. And it feels like you are literally building a tank. This thing has so many pieces that go into it, and you're just building it from the ground up. So a couple things that I will note and I really like about this set. Right here, you can see the door handle. How they did this is they got this little thing that looks like a little carburetor, and in some of the older, like, I know, you won't be able to see it because it's so dark colored and it's hard to see, but if you have any of those Formula One sets from in the past when they had the trophies, or the Ford GT Speed Champion, the early on one, and it gave you a little trophy and it had one of these little cars, this would sit on top of it. That's the piece they're kind of using, and they're using it for door handles that you can see right there. And I thought that was a really cool technique. I really like that. And they took the time right there that says AMG on it, so they can print stuff on here. So I don't understand why some things aren't printed and other things are. Don't know, but that's what you have so far with the printed parts. I also like how they did the engine. The engine right there is looking really cool. I really like how it looks, especially when you pop open the hood of an AMG. It always has this little placard. Of course, it's not this big, it's a lot smaller, and it says hand built by so-and-so at factory XYZ. And it's always a cool thing. I'm glad they added that on there. And I'm making the assumption that a hood opens on this, because why have this if you can't see it? But we'll get to that when we build that part. And I also like that it has kind of like these little vents on the side of the engine, almost like the valve covers and everything. It looks really good. I really like how they did it. And honestly, so far this has been a pretty nice build. Everything is incredibly sturdy. You could drop this on the floor and probably, with the exception of these pieces that are barely held on, everything else is gonna stay there. You could give this to your kid to play with and they're not gonna break it for the most part, at least at this stage. But it feels like you're literally building a tank or some kind of amphibious assault vehicle that's gonna roll up on the beach or something, because this thing is a beast and it doesn't feel like you did much, but a whole bag went into just building it up, you know, from this way up. And we also got some of the interior, got some of that classic, I don't know if it's what technical term they use for their brown, but the peanut butter interior, basically. They got that going for it in the back section. And other than that, not too much, not too difficult of a build. One of those, you know, just keep an eye on it, you know, look where you're putting pieces on. Especially when it comes to pieces that are underneath, like these ones here, because they don't set directly like they traditionally would. I don't know how to describe it, but it's actually off. It's like in the middle where they're underneath the piece, you know, they have like the little round portions underneath these long pieces. A lot of times that's where they're going to connect onto. So it's a little bit different for some of the steps, especially when you need to see where these like floorboards are down here. You don't get a clear view of where it is. You kind of have to guesstimate where it goes. Fortunately, I guessed right. It goes a little bit past the white pillar here. They'll slot in slightly past that, and that seems to be the correct setup. But sometimes the angles in this set, it's hard to see exactly where to put things. But, you know, pretty fun. I actually am really enjoying this build so far, so I'm glad I started with this one. As for the pieces, you got a piece of radioactive nuclear rod right here, and then 3 little teeny tiny pieces. So 4 pieces total in 2 bags. You got about 7 leftover teeny tiny pieces, nothing large, so just be prepared for that. Now we move on to bag 5. Bag 5 is done. 21 minutes, 17 seconds. And while the body on the side profile doesn't look much different, you can see we got our front end on with the headlights, that nice grille. I actually like how they really did the grille with these little like round like plate look to it. It kind of makes it look like a real grille. We got our hood on there, which we open up, and we can see our AMG engine, which is nice. I'm glad they did that. Now the hood is a little finicky. You really have to kind of twist it a little bit to get it just right to slot in between the two fenders so it sits flush. So just so you know, I had to do a little bit of moving around to get to really sit in there nicely. We also have the interior, white seats, which I was kind of surprised. I figured that they would make it this kind of, baseball mitt, peanut butter interior as well, but they didn't. They just went with traditional white seats. So you got 4 minifigs that could fit in this set. We also have the steering wheel with the infotainment system there. And as you can see, we got our back on that. Now, I am disappointed because these could have easily have been like red pieces that had the printed on white or something to the effect of making it more than just a sticker on there. I mean, the sticker's fine and everything, but it would have looked better if it was like a clear piece or looked like a tail light like they use for other speed champions. So that was a little bit of a disappointment. Like the headlights are tough, especially with this design. I mean, you could probably use one of those like, looks like a little plate or a satellite dish that was clear and put, I don't have a piece for it, but like a little silver round piece in the middle of it to kind of give it that effect. But the stickers here are probably better just because of the intricacy of the design. But for the taillights, I think we could have used pieces and it would have been fine. But also, when you put this on, this back piece on, you have these here, which will plug into it. But that's not where they want you to actually connect it. When I was putting it on there, I was trying to put it there, but then it wouldn't sit flush to the back here. It was kind of off a little bit. It wants you to set it on the deck. There's a little gray piece that'll sit about here, and that's what you're gonna attach it to. So these will have gaps. I double checked, I went back through the instructions. It seemed like it put everything on correctly. I didn't have any missing pieces, obviously, or extra pieces larger than a 1x1, but you could see there's a gap there, and that's intentional for whatever reason. So don't try to force this onto there because it's not happening. Just attach it from the top, and then when you build up all these like layers of pieces, that will keep it secure in there. But we do have a lot of stickers in this one. Obviously, we have the taillights, we have the AMG there, G63, we have the hood, and the infotainment center. So you put on most of the stickers during this one. It looks like we'll have 1 sticker left for bag 6 that goes over the spare tire, container that they put on the G-Wagons. But overall, still enjoying this build, actually. This has been a pretty good build. I like it. It's sturdy, just like a G-Wagon is. And honestly, I like the size. It's a good size. It'd be cool if they had more speed champions that were like these 4x4 or 4-seaters, or even if they made, more sedans that had 4 seats in them, not just the 2. But we have bag 6. That'll complete the G63. So let's get to building. Bag 6 is done. 16 minutes, 45 seconds, with an overall time of just over 1 hour, 11 minutes. And now you can have your own G63 Speed Champions. So, what did I think? This is a great build. I actually really like this build, and I actually wouldn't mind. I know it's a Speed Champion, so it's kind of like hypercars, fast things, F1. And the G-Wagon's kind of thrown in here because it's AMG and it has massive amounts of horsepower and torque, and this thing could really haul for considering how boxy and large these vehicles are. But it would be kind of cool to see more SUV styles. Maybe we get the RSQ8, or you can get in a Porsche Cayenne GTS or something that, so, has those high horsepower numbers and can kind of sneak in as a SUV for Speed Champions. Because honestly, this is probably up there, top 5, top 10 builds, to be honest with you. This one was a lot of fun. I really like how it turned out. It helps that the G-Wagon is boxy as can be. It's basically is a Lego piece on wheels, so that helps. But there's a lot of little neat things about it. I love how, they did the turn, the turn signals that sit on top of the fenders. I love the grille on this thing and the air intakes that come on the AMG versions of it. Of course, we got the side exhaust, which they did in a nice silver, just like the real vehicle. They have this nice silver tips coming out the side, and it looks really good. I also like that they took the time to where you can open the hood. It's a little tight sitting there, but you open it up, you have your AMG plaque saying who built the engine for you, you close it, and you're good to go. They added little details like the windshield wipers. Back in the day, the city sets, this used to be like a little antenna on something. Now they're using them as windshield wipers, which I thought was pretty cool. I like how they did the windows throughout it so you can see inside, and this thing could easily fit 4 minifigs. As a matter of fact, the minifig I think that would go greatest with this is from the Challenger Hellcat set I built the other week, or a few videos ago, we'll say. I don't know, the videos kind of run together on which week they were, but how his Hellcat came with a Starbucks coffee cup. I think it'd be a lot more appropriate for this vehicle because very few people around here that have these actually take them off road and really abuse them. They're mostly used in mall parking lots and at the beach or in front of boutiques. So I think the coffee cup would have been a lot better suited for this set. And maybe I'll put Bruce in there and he can hang out with Hannah, who fits in there just fine. As you can see, she's good to go. She's sitting there. She's looking nice and pretty much a murdered out G63. And overall, like I said, this is a really great build. I actually really liked building an SUV for the Speed Champions. It's sturdy as could be. It's actually pretty heavy. I figure like probably 400 or 500 of those pieces went into this, and then the rest is just shoved onto the SL63 Roadster over there. But, definitely a good looking car, good looking Speed Champion. Definitely recommend it. Love the wheels. You see, the wheels themselves aren't that actually big. The rims aren't that big compared to the tire. The tires are chunky, but the rims themselves are just regular size, but they use like a hubcap that goes out and kind of fans out beyond the rim itself to give it that appearance of a low profile tire on like 22-inch Mercedes rims, and it looks really good. I really like how they did that part of it. Now, there were a few things that I was not happy about with this set. We already know about the taillights. I wish they would have used actual real, red clear pieces for this. I think that would have made it look a lot better, in my opinion. Another thing I had an issue with this set in particular was a lot of the smooth pieces, as well as the windows on here, were scuffed and scratched to no end. It's almost like someone putting this set together before they boxed it was like, man, I hate working here. And they're just like, digging pieces into each other. Because there's so many pieces on this set that are, the exterior pieces you're going to look at. The windows here, you can kind of see right there. You see those scuff marks? That's after me trying to buff them out to get them to look nice. They were actually worse than this, and you can kind of see the markings on them. And there were so many pieces that were like that in this set, which is really a shame because you want it to be clean, you want it to look good. But because of how scuffed they are, it makes it look kind of scuffed. And I just wish there was a little bit more care taken, at least for my set, that would have made the windows nice and clear. If you ran into that issue, let me know in the comments. Or maybe I just got unlucky with this set and just got one with a bunch of scuffed pieces. But there were quite a few, which was really disappointing. Kind of took it down a little bit because I really like how it looks. I love everything about this, to be honest with you. And to see, you know, these pieces that are brand new out of the bag, all scuffed and scratched, it's like I had it stored for 3 years and I was just tossing around not caring about it. Now, the back, you got that little Mercedes symbol sitting on the spare tire. What I recommend, put it all together and attach it to the back, then put the sticker on, because I lined this sticker up beautifully, almost dead center on that circled spot. I was so proud of myself. I put it on the back of this, and then with the Mercedes emblem correctly oriented, I went to put it on the back, and it doesn't plug in that way because it's turned slightly, probably, you know, good 15 degrees turn before it will click in. So all that work I did to make it nice and pretty was out the window. So I had to kind of mess with it, rearrange it, pop out the center one, get this whole piece on, then put it back on as close as I could. And that's about the best I could get. It's slightly off. It's actually the wrong side of the emblem. There is a slight difference on this sticker, at least for mine, the way it's printed. So it was the best that I could get it. But I recommend put the spare tire on the back, put everything together, then put your sticker on so your Mercedes emblem is perfectly aligned. So I was kind of disappointed about that, but that was on me because I assumed it was just going to pop right on the way I had it built, and that was not the case. So you live, you learn. Also, some of these pieces really take me back. You know, the windshield wipers, as well as this rear one, which was always like a windshield for the old school city sets for their cars. And seeing those pieces just really takes you back to how old some of these designs are. And not in a bad way, it just brings you back to when you were a kid and you got to build some of those. Actually, I have some of the blue ones because they always use blue for the windows for some reason. Or at least a lot of ones I had were blue. That are sitting in the bin in Logan Bricks set that I gave him. But overall, this is a good looking car. I like it. This is definitely one to add. Even if you don't care for the SL63 in this set, this is one of those sets where, you know, one of these just hits it out of the park. You know, it seems like a couple of these 2-for-1 specials, there was always one really good one and one that was like, I could do without that one. I don't really need it. But this one so far, definitely worth it. Definitely build this first so at least you can get the nice looking one out of the way and have it for your display case. I really love how it turned out. It was a really great experience. And I'm just repeating myself because this was a really good set, at least for this build. We'll see next week, next Friday, when I build the SL63 to see if we have the same kind of positive experience as we do with this one. If you've joined us for this long through the video, or you just fast forward to this part to hear what I had to say about the set, go ahead and drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment. Did you like this set? Did you not like this set? Did you run into some of the issues I had, especially with the scuffing on the nice smooth pieces and on the windows? Let me know in the comments below. Did you run into any trouble building it? I can maybe lend a hand, help you out, give you some pointers, and maybe you can complete this set as well. But we're up to, I think it was 107 subs as of today. That's absolutely amazing. You know, just not too long ago, I dropped a 100 sub video and then we're already climbing, which absolutely awesome. Thank you for everyone who tunes in, every single person who takes the time to hit that sub, to comment. I appreciate it all like you guys would not believe. And I still can't believe my analytics show me mostly being viewed on a TV. So a lot of you guys like seeing my face in full 55, 60 inch mode. I don't know why, but that seems to be the case. But whatever floats your boat, Doesn't matter how you view it. I just appreciate that you are taking the time to tune in. And if you're on Instagram, you can check me out over here. I always post kind of what I'm gonna build a couple days before the video releases, in case you want to see, am I going to enjoy this build? Is this something I'm looking forward to? You can always check it out. And as far as next week's hint, we already know what it is, because this is a 2-for-1 Benz special. This is the AMG Classic. We got the G63 wagon, not G63 wagon, the Wagon G63. I wish they had the E63 or E65 wagon speed champions. That'd be absolutely amazing, because I'm a big station wagon guy, especially fast station wagons. Lego, if you're listening, push out an E63 wagon or even a RS6 Audi wagon. That'd be amazing. That one's pretty blocky too, so it'd work perfectly with speed champions. Hint, hint. But next week, we're going to be building the SL63, and we'll kind of get a feel how good that set was. Will it compete with the G-Wagon? Well, we'll have to wait till next week to find out. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.